The elevator dinged at exactly 3:12 a.m., even though he never pressed the button. The hallway outside his apartment was silent, except for that mechanical chime. His phone screen lit up with a notification from the building app. Elevator access granted floor 12. His stomach twisted as he stared at the message. He hadn't moved from his couch. The timestamp was live. Another ding echoed through the corridor. This time it sounded closer, like the elevator had stopped right outside his door. He slowly stood up. The digital clock on his oven flickered between 3:11 and 3:12 repeatedly. The seconds refused to change. His phone vibrated again. A new log entry appeared. Keycard detected. Resident his name. He backed toward the door carefully. The peephole felt colder than usual against his skin. When he looked through it, the hallway lights were off. Only the red glow of an elevator indicator illuminated the corridor. It displayed the number 12, but his building didn't have a 12. The elevator doors were open. No one stood inside, yet he could hear breathing. His phone camera activated by itself. The front camera showed his face. Behind him, in his own apartment, someone stood near the kitchen. He spun around instantly. The apartment was empty. The camera feed glitched and froze. A soft knock tapped against his front door. 3 slow knocks, then silence. He didn't respond. The handle began turning slowly on its own. He stumbled backward as the door creaked open an inch. Cold air seeped into the apartment. The hallway beyond was pitch black. Floor 12 is ready, a voice whispered from the darkness. It was calm. It sounded identical to his own voice. He slammed the door shut and locked it. The deadbolt clicked loudly. His hands were shaking uncontrollably. The elevator dinged again. This time the sound came from inside his apartment. He turned toward the hallway that led to his bedroom. At the far end, faint yellow light flickered. Elevator light. Impossible. He walked slowly toward it. Each step felt heavier than the last. The air grew thinner the closer he got. The bedroom door was open. Inside, where his closet should be, an elevator stood embedded in the wall. Its doors were fully open. The interior light hung softly. The floor indicator above it glowed red 12. No, he whispered to himself. Not again. His phone displayed another log. Access confirmed repeat entry. The timestamp read 3:12 a.m. The date was tomorrow. Inside the elevator, the mirror reflected his bedroom, but in the reflection, the room was darker, and the elevator behind him was closed. He stepped closer unwillingly. The reflection version of himself didn't move in sync. It was half a second delayed. The reflection slowly smiled. He didn't. The elevator chimed softly. The doors began closing. Panic surged through him. He rushed forward and blocked them. The doors reopened immediately. The inside smelled like damp concrete and rust. The same scent from floor 12. The same cold draft brushed against his face. A new notification appeared. Maintenance mode activated. The elevator panel flickered to life. Buttons 1 through 20 appeared, except 12 was glowing brighter than the rest. Without touching anything, the doors slammed shut behind him. The elevator jolted violently downward. The floor indicator skipped 11. It flickered between 12 and something unreadable. Symbols he didn't recognize. The lights went out for a split second. In that darkness, he felt someone standing inches from him. The lights returned. He was alone again, but the mirror showed reflections. Both versions of him stared forward. Only one blinked. The elevator stopped abruptly. The doors slid open slowly. The hallway beyond was not his building. It looked older. The walls were unfinished concrete. Exposed wires hung from the ceiling. A large sign was bolted to the wall ahead. It read, Archive Level 12. He stepped out cautiously. The elevator doors closed behind him instantly. When he turned back, there was no elevator. Rows of metal filing cabinets stretched endlessly in both directions. Each cabinet was labeled with apartment numbers. He opened one drawer. Inside were printed elevator logs. Thousands of pages. Every page had his name on it. Entry after entry. 3:12 a.m. He flipped through frantically. Some entries were dated months into the future. Others dated years back. One page had a photo clip to it. It showed him standing on floor 12, but his eyes were black. A metallic crash echoed from somewhere deep in the archive. The filing cabinets began sliding open on their own. Pages spilled onto the floor like falling leaves. Each page displayed security stills of him entering the elevator. "You requested correction." A voice boomed through the archive. It reverberated through the concrete walls. He covered his ears. "I never requested anything." The cabinets slammed shut simultaneously. Silence fell instantly. Footsteps echoed slowly between the rows. They matched his exact walking rhythm. He began backing away. The footsteps mirrored him. When he stopped, they stopped. A tall shadow emerged at the end of the aisle. It stepped forward into faint light. It was him, but thinner, paler, eyes completely black. "You keep choosing 12, the double said calmly. "Every version of you does." The lights overhead flickered violently. The archive began shifting. Filing cabinets rearranged like a maze. He turned to run, but the path behind him had changed. The aisles no longer led anywhere familiar. The double tilted its head slowly. At 312, "You always remember." A flood of memories hit him all at once. Nights waking up, standing in the elevator, pressing 12 willingly. He remembered stepping into darkness. He remembered asking for something to change. "I just wanted it to stop," he whispered. The double nodded slowly. "So we corrected it." The floor beneath them trembled. The archive walls began lowering like descending platforms. The double stepped closer. Floor 12 removes what shouldn't continue. His phone buzzed again in his pocket. A final notification appeared. "Correction complete pending replacement." The double reached out its hand. "Time to log you." Behind him, the elevator doors materialized once more. They stood open, glowing softly. Inside, the mirror reflected only the double, not him. The red number above the doors flickered slowly. 12, 12, 12. And somewhere far above, in his apartment at exactly 3:12 a.m., someone who looked exactly like him opened the front door and stepped into the hallway.